Quelch Engineering, based in Uxbridge, Middlesex, are CNC turning and milling specialists serving a diverse range of industries including aerospace, telecoms, motorsports, medical and marine. The supplier of their DOS-based MRP system proved slow in responding to problems, and there was no method of transferring their data to the Windows version, despite several promises and missed delivery dates quoted by the vendor. It also needed a great deal of internal resources to maintain, but was inflexible and always required additional consultancy to tailor the system. Said Alan C., Managing Director, "Every time we wanted to change the system in any way, for example to add our ISO logos to forms, it involved yet more consultancy. Everything seemed to require a project engineer and seemed to make things more complicated than we thought was necessary." We attended the Sims show in November 2000 and spent several months evaluating systems costing between £16,000 and £25,000, but that was only the software cost. On top of that, there was training, additional consultancy, generally at £500 per day, with additional maintenance on top of the final figure. They all appear to be orientated around somebody in-house dedicated to running the system and them selling you more services. It felt like they had just one opportunity to get as much out of you as possible. When we saw 123mrp.net, we realised that we could implement the system ourselves and train staff in-house, with minimal staff resources tied up to maintain it.
The cost is important, but introducing it in the way we do, where we rent the system, makes it a much easier pill to swallow. So from a cost point of view, it's a much easier introduction. I think that the flexibility that's available to the user to change parts of the system that are important to the individual companies is excellent within the Rent IT system.
The decision to look into a new system was made because of a customer audit. Alan continued by saying, "They suggested that we ran a seat-of-the-pants operation due to our lack of planning. Originally, we believed that finite planning would answer all of our problems, but as it happened, this was not the case. Trying to allocate hours to resources doesn't work for us. You might have a staff member off sick or on leave unannounced. All the finite planning in the world cannot cover this, and you end up having a highly paid member of staff constantly trying to fill in the blanks. Instead, we simply print out a customer delivery plan from 123mrp.net and use this to plan our workload." After selecting 123mrp.net, Alan attended the 3-day training course along with his son Paul, who is Operations Director, in May and June 2001 respectively. All other users of the system were trained in-house using the training manual supplied. Of the training, Alan commented, "Paul was responsible for implementing, so he spent more time learning the system than I did. But even with just 3 days training, I found it very easy to use. None of the staff had problems either." The system went live in November 2001. Although Alan admits it was a tense time, he was surprised with the smooth transition. He added, "Paul implemented both the system and the network, and it surprised me how quickly it was up and running. It went like clockwork. The support we got was excellent, all questions were answered quickly without any major problems."
The fact that we don't need support means that the system is user-friendly enough to overcome any problems ourselves. But likewise, that if we did need support, Rachel's normally our first port of call, and she's been excellent in the past.
The system went live across all departments, also utilising 123mrp.net's built-in accounts integration facility. Alan noticed several immediate benefits.
The product planning was very much better and more comprehensive. The traceability was considerably better. That helped us a great deal with customer audits. When we have a customer audit, they like to choose particular jobs and walk them through the system to prove traceability, and that was much easier to demonstrate.
Although Quelch Engineering has installed an MRP system, the generation of purchase orders was one function they chose not to use. Alan explained, "The nature of our business means that every order is treated as unique. We never know if it's going to be repeated. We didn't want to have to apply resources to manually amend automatically recommended purchases of expensive materials that may never be used. We subsequently decided to use our route cards, which list all of the materials at the bottom. The level of purchasing we do is such that this is a quick and manageable way for us to order exactly what we need to, while keeping stocks to a minimum. The difference over other systems we looked at is that 123mrp.net allowed us to work in this way rather than forcing us down another route. Quelch plans to invest in more shop floor technology driven by its small workforce of highly trained staff. Having a system that has fixed costs with no hidden surprises helps the company to forecast accurately for the future.
Probably the training and the introduction of the system was much easier than I expected, and that was probably the area that exceeded expectations. When I look back over the last 4 years, it's amazing that we've been in touch with you, I can't imagine more than 3 or 4 times in that period. I think the day the guy that audited us and said that we ran an SOP company, that really put the wheels in motion. That was the seat of the pants approach to our business, and as it turns out, I mean, we're telling that company now the errors of their ways with orders and out-of-date prices and impossible deliveries now, so the boot's firmly on the other foot now.